Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So I have a very fun and interesting video today. So this perfume house that we're going to be talking about is sold on a few different places. I think they have their website where most of them are sold out. I can't name all the places, but Scent Split is where I came across this brand. Now I'm gonna just start this off by saying I'm gonna describe these perfumes to you. We're gonna spray them and describe them, and I will try to list the notes up here so that you can see the notes, because I don't want this video to take too long with trying to describe each and every note, but I'll just describe how it smells to you and I will list the notes up here for you. So before we get started, if you would like to check out my hand cream and body butter, you can go to sonodapecancompany.com or pecansilk.com. I will leave a link down in the description box. We also have a lip butter and they are really good. So without further ado, let's get into this video. So I got all of these off of Scent Split, and we're gonna start off with, I'm gonna save the worst for last, so to speak, with this. So Toskovat is the name of the brand, and Toskovat is by a gentleman from Romania, I believe. Don't quote me on that. And so I looked at these perfumes. There are some reviews out there, and they are very different. And most of them have like a poem or a story written behind them. As the gentleman kind of explains his life kind of stories or whatever, that he basically ties like real life stories or like memories of his childhood, etc., or memories in general that he directly related the scent to. Let me see if I can find the guy's name, because I don't want to do him a disservice here, but I think he is from Romania. And he has, okay, so his name is David Lev Japita Selvinsky. I'm probably butchering his name. But if you look up Toskovat's owner, then you will find that out. It does say that he founded a brand that creates extraits de memoire, which are perfumes inspired by deep human emotions, and the Russian word toska, meaning profound longing and nostalgia. According to the brand's post on Instagram, he also previously worked as a filmmaker and applies a similar narrative and approach to his perfume creations. So I'm going to start this off by, and I do have one honorable mention. It's not actually by Toskovat, so we'll talk about it at the end. It's not the worst perfume. As I was stating, I'll save the worst for last. That's actually a Toskovat. But I do have a whole different perfume that I'm just going to add into this video instead of making a whole separate video on it. So I will add that one perfume at the end, but first we're going to talk about the Toskovat. And I'm going to try to be relatively quick because I want to review this, but my battery, I have two batteries. One's on the charger and it's dead, and this one is slowly dying. So anyhow, without further ado, first scent we're going to get into is the one that I actually saw, and the bottles look really cool. Again, I'll try to post a picture and obviously the notes with each of these perfumes. But the first one that really caught my eye that I almost blind bought a bottle of, but I'm glad I didn't. I got samples of all of these. Most of them are 5 milliliter, and then 3 of them are 2 milliliter, and they're the ones that I thought I would like the least, which kind of the case. But anyhow, this first sample is called Desert Sermons, and I live in the desert, you know, I live in southern Arizona, so I was like, that looks like a really cool bottle. It sounds like something I would really like. I think it had some honey notes in it. So this one, I'm glad I did not blind buy. Now, it does not smell bad. It smells really good, but right out the gate, you get like a cinnamony leather type of scent. It does remind me of Out Here in the Desert. It reminds me of a cowboy is what this reminds me of. Like, this reminds me of like a space cowboy, like a cowboy, like a, you know, I'm trying to find the word, but just, it's very Western, okay? Like the leather gives it that very Western vibe. So I think the name Desert Sermons fits it well. Let's see. If I have time here, I'm going to try really quick and read you the kind of, you know, description / poetic story of each one. So let me try to do that for you real quick. Excuse me, my allergies are still on the fritz. I've been taking medicine for like the last 2 weeks, give or take, and they've gotten better, but my nose is still has its moments. So Desert Sermons, which is exclusive to Scent Split. If you're going to get this particular one, it's not on his website. This one says, okay, so it says, and these are kind of long, so I'm trying to read them quick. So Desert Sermons by Toskovat is a fragrance for women and men. A sticky, resinous, and exotic ambery gourmand extrait with rare notes and accords. It says, today I remembered for how long I was lost, how far I was gone. What started with the trip turned into a chase, then an unquenching thirst. Pilgrims trying to understand the world by seeing more of it are like weasels eating more honey to understand why only bees can make it. And they are the only ones that make it? ? Years into my dive, I observed a stereogram of fear. All of the knowledge of the world within a grain of sand, no longer in communication. Now, how does one go back home? So that is the description of this. Again, I would read the notes. I'll post them up here. But this is a very beautiful scent. It is a very tobacco scent. I think this is more tobacco, very tobacco forward. So to me, it leans way more masculine. I do definitely think that a woman could pull this off if that's your jam and you like leathery scents, but to me, it pulls more masculine. So let's get into the next one. So that was Desert Sermons. The next one we're going to talk about is called Animento. I think I might be butchering that. And this one sounded really interesting. But I don't know. To me, it's kind of a jumble. It's kind of like, the notes are not very straightforward in this one, in my personal opinion. So this is called Animento. Anacamento. Animento. I don't know. So this fragrance, I'm going to read it to you while I let it draw on the tester strip. So this one says, today I traveled, my favorite place to visit, the past. It's the sweet allure of it. The destination of predestination going nowhere fast. I recall the imagination of the Tyrian while we were on tower tops. I looked at you like a kid seeing the sea for the first time, or me seeing it the last. If you look back at that beauty, you've most likely already lost it. Or is it me? Douce, melancholy breeze of summers never lived, of places never been, of sunshine melting skin. You cast such a shadow. Take a seat, have a treat, hurry up, we are late. So this is supposed to be like a prickly pear, citrus, pancake rum, whipped cream, frangipani, cypress, cistus incantus, cedar and oak. Like there's other notes in there. I'm just kind of briefly giving them to you. And with this one, I'm not sure. Like I can't really discern one note from the other, if that makes sense. And maybe that's because some of these notes are just really not like super common notes you would smell in a perfume. Like I don't really get pancake. Maybe a little whipped cream, maybe a little frangipani. This is not a bad scent, but it does have like a ever so slightly medicinal smell to it, which is I think what kind of throws me off, aside from not being able to like fully distinguish the notes. It is slightly sweet, to me it just reminds me of something medicinal, like a sweet medicinal, like a kid's medicine. So I don't know. Look that one up, see if you like it. It's called Animento. I'll list the notes over here. So moving on to the next fragrance. Now this one I actually liked. It's called Ichigo Ichi. I think I'm pronouncing that correct. And this one smells pretty good actually. It smells better on the skin than on the tester strip. Let me look that one up. This is definitely a feminine perfume. If I can spell. And I just thought it was so neat, kind of the story behind these, personally, you know, how they each kind of had a story. Like, I liked the storyline with the perfume. Ichigo Ichi, it says, today I remembered that one time and all the things that got lost in translation. The abandoned theme park and the burnt bridge with 2 missing links. Us not having to look back, leaving your favorite film case on a hotel desk, and me losing the 24 photos I took of you in that never-ending rush. Then the empty train stations, the new places, travels, and so-called homes that life took me and you on. We were there when quantum entanglement was proven. We just don't know it yet. Only years later, it was just one moment, just one lifetime, and there were many glimpses of beauty along the way. Now this one, it does, to me, and the notes in it, and I'm just gonna briefly list a couple. The notes in this, like, is supposed to be kind of like a Japanesey kind of smell. like cream soda, nashi pear, mandarin plum, cherry blossom, hibiscus, pomelo, powdery notes, tiger lily, steamed accords, orris root. You definitely get the orris root in here, which is not like my favorite note, but I do like orris root. It comes off very powdery. So this is a good one. If you like a soft floral powdery scent, you will definitely like this one. Again, that is Ichigo Ichi. Highly recommend if you like a tea, orris, soft powdery floral scent. Moving on to the next one. Now this one I actually like quite a bit. And when I first smelled this one, it straight up reminded me, like I couldn't remember, and then automatically it dawned on me. I was like, oh my God, I know what this reminds me of. So this is called Silent at the Theme Park. Now, when I first smelled this, and now I don't smell it really, but at first it reminded me of Love Don't Be Shy with the orange blossom note, because this one is very, to me personally, orange blossom heavy. But as this one dries down, it really does give you that like imagination of being in an abandoned theme park. Like if anybody's ever been to Kings Island and you've rode the Beast, which is like one of the world's, I think, biggest or longest wooden roller coasters, it like imagine being there late at like dusk and it's like abandoned. I mean, even though it's not really abandoned in real life, but imagine it being the Beast. If you know that roller coaster, if not, Google it. But the Beast roller coaster, which I've been on it, and it's a phenomenal, it's one of my favorite wooden roller coasters ever. But imagine it like at dusk, that theme park with like the Beast and being abandoned and walking through it and smelling that like woody kind of floral smell. This one I feel like is very perfectly described. It personally gives me the abandoned theme park kind of nostalgia, so to speak, but let me read that one to you. So that one says, today I remembered my mother and her sweater. I remember eating the small lemon tart on the first flight ever. They took me to a theme park when I was 5 and I smudged it. There are lilacs knocking on the windows now, just like then. The room used to seem so big back then and life so colorful. The linen smelled so calm. It was spring and the garden by our hotel room was full in blossom. I remember playing with my toys, staying inside. It was never ending, unlike the rides. I remember the screams and their hugs. 20 years fly by and I don't seem to. So right off the bat, this one has a lot of citrus. It has lime, blossom, lemon, gourmand accord, orange blossom, and lilac, with lily of the valley, cashmere, balsam fern, oak moss, vanilla, labdanum. So this one's very pretty. I think out of all of the Toskovat scents, this one is one that if I were going to purchase a full bottle, this is what I would get, is Silent at the Theme Park. It's very orange blossom heavy, so you have to like orange blossom. But if you like orange blossom, you will definitely like this. It's literally giving abandoned wooden roller coaster theme park vibes. So that is Silent at the Theme Park. And then we're down to the last 3. These I got 2 milliliter bottles of because they sounded very wild. So I was like, I'm going to get small bottles of that. So this next one, and this is a little 2 milliliter sample. Let me give you a comparison. Not that you really need one, but this is the 5 milliliter from Scent Split, and this is the 2 milliliter. So yeah, let's get into that. So this one is called My Past Selves Flowers. Let me look that one up. So this one I'm going to read to you. It says, today I remembered my love, my sorrow, my final tomorrow. I feel the coldest kiss and I receive flowers for the first time. I see the same marble I had made wishes to as a child, enclosing my deepest wish today. From my rotting body flowers shall grow, and I am in them, and that will be eternity. And these flowers hopefully will be given to my loved ones sooner than they were to me. My children will not tremble like I did, as theirs won't hold the thorn's sharp touch. They will dream of the floating petals, soft and bright, of the meadows beyond the dark hills, and of the flowing waters that save any withering spirit. They will dream, you've colored my life, and every gradient was worth it. We will sit again together one day when neither of us will be willing to run. So, I don't know. I didn't delve too much into this one, to be honest. It smells like flowers at a grave that have been sitting in like rain for like a week. They just smell like old flowers is what I get out of that one. Maybe that's, you know, from me reading that to you, the description, like the poem or whatever, the story kind of to it. It just smells like old, dying, decaying flowers. Not in the worst way. Like, it's not a terrible scent, but it's just not... not like a pretty uplifting floral. It feels like a gloom and doom kind of floral. These are very interesting scents. I encourage you, if you just want to smell these kind of for giggles, like to smell really weird, odd, interesting scents, definitely try these Toskovats. Even if you just get like the little 2 milliliter samples, they are a little pricey, but if you're into like super, super niche, like just really bizarre out there fragrances, you should try these out. Because that's honestly what kind of got me obviously into this, was just like the oddness of it all. But yeah, that's just kind of, I get an Old Flowers vibe. So the last two, the next one is I keep wanting to call it Antichrist. It's not Antichrist, it's Anarchist A. So let me look that one up real quick. Anarchist A. This is also Toskovat. So Anarchist A is, let's see. It says, today I remembered hypocrisy. They sell us love, faith, forgiveness, blessings, distractions, and dreams. They sell anything if we are ready to buy it up. If it is hard to tell who they quotations are, it could be because of us. All we ever wanted was everything. White collar promises that children follow a better tomorrow, only if you work for it for every tomorrow. And me waiting in the cold, snow on my face, rye in my pocket, hoping for answers for a different age. Society remains dying and we have killed it. How shall we comfort ourselves? The murders of all murders. So this one's interesting. My daughter actually liked this one. I didn't obviously give her like a whole lot of deep detail or anything about it. I just let her smell it. She was like, oh, I like that. And I was like, okay. So this one is supposed to smell like credit card, snow, whiskey, money, ink, candle wax, priest's clothes, holy water, plastic bag, oblinum, saccharine resin, green, and precious woods. I'm going to start off by saying this one in the dry down literally just smells like a hot plastic Walmart bag. And it smells really strange at first. I think I'm getting that kind of ink, candle wax whiskey smell. But this one's pretty not great in my opinion. It's really hard to describe. I'll post the notes so you can look at it, but this is definitely one that's kind of hard to describe. You have to smell it. All I can tell you is the dry down on the paper smells like a Walmart plastic bag. So the plastic bag note, which is a note in here, is heavy. Anywho, because I'm running a little low on battery here, we're going to do the last one so we can wrap this video up. This is called Inexcusable Evil, and let me tell you, it is I literally went like this when I smelled it because it is the most vile thing I've ever smelled in my entire life. I actually don't even want to smell it right now, but for the purpose of this video, we are. So this scent is the most unique smell I've ever smelled in my life. So I'm going to read it to you real quick. It says, today I remember destruction. The pain of life often makes me forget the more disgusting pain of having it taken. Fallen buildings on the news, crying babies, burnt flowers. Memories lost, tears drowned, coffees never shared. At least I have iodine on my wounds, crutches left to use, but what about those that don't? The next war will decide not what is right, but what is left. Hate all governments and love all people. So this scent, as just described, is supposed to smell like war. And I would say this perfectly describes it. I'm not looking forward to it. Okay, the perfect description of this is hot blood on, like hot irony blood of like somebody bleeding out onto a metal table. It is the most vile thing I've ever smelled, and all I get is like hot blood and metal. Burning buildings, definitely. Like, it is just vile. It is a vile scent. Like, I don't know how anybody could wear this as a perfume, personally. And I don't have anything else to say. It literally, I smell blood more strong than anything in a metallic note. Like a metallic, bloody, like hot metal scent. 10 out of 10 would not recommend. Definitely sample it. Don't get the 2 milliliter like I did. Get the 1 milliliter. Save yourself because it'll only take you a few sprays to figure it out. So, anywho, without any more sample, oh, I have one more. Coven. Let's see if we can squeeze this in before my battery dies. If my battery dies, then we're just gonna end this video here. And anyhow, this is Coven by Andrea Mack. And the description of this made me think of witches and Halloween, which is definitely the vibe I get. Again, it's called Coven, C-O-V-E-N, by Andrea Mack. It is available on Scent Split. And this one to me is extremely green in the opening, which I'm not crazy about. Definitely reminds me of Halloween, and it almost has a slight licorice note to it. So I was not crazy about this one, but I encourage you to check it out. If you like super green fragrances, you will definitely like this, but it is extremely green, like being in a dark forest on Halloween. And I will be curious to try this in colder weather to see if it does and smells better, but very witchy vibes, dark, cold, green forest floor is how I would describe this. Extremely green. But if you get a chance, check that out. That is, again, Coven by Andrea Mack. And that is all I have for this video. If you like this video, please like it. Also, consider subscribing to the channel. And thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in the next video. Bye, guys.